Hey y'all, welcome to Miji and Poppy's Kitchen. We are headed to the beach tomorrow, and every time I go to the beach, I love to make some homemade goodies to take, especially for breakfast and snacks. So that's what we're going to do today. But I have Poppy, who is celiac, gluten free, and I have my daughter, who is dairy free at the moment. And so I'm having to tweak some recipes to make, well, two of them are going to be gluten free and one dairy free. Um, but they're still going to be delicious, I think. So let's try this. You can do it the regular way. I'm just going to make some tweaks to do it the gluten free way. And I think they're going to be delicious. It's Morning Glory Muffins. It is a triple berry muffin, which is only going to be a double berry because I only have two types of berries today. And it's a little breakfast cookie. They all look so good. So let's get started. We're going to start with the Morning Glory Muffins because it has the most ingredients. It has to sit for a little bit. So we're going to get started with that one. Okay, so every time I look up breakfast recipes, I see Morning Glory muffins pop up, and they always look so good. So I'm excited to get to finally try some Morning Glory muffins, and they're going to be gluten free. Are these also dairy free? Yes, these are going to be gluten free and dairy free. So we'll all get to enjoy these. So this is exciting. Okay, so it's a lot of ingredients, but most of them you'll probably have already. So anyway, let's get started and I'll tell you what they are when we get there. Okay, so it says line, and as usual, I've never done these before, so I'm reading along. We're just making them as we go. So it says to line us, and I'll link the recipes to the bottom. To line a standard size muffin cups with paper liners or grease with nonstick cooking spray. The oven preheats later while the muffin batter rests. That's because we are using gluten-free flour. Sometimes some of these recipes call for it to sit for a little bit so that it gets hydrated, the flour. I've seen several recipes like this, so we're going with it. If you're using regular flour, which you just use the same amount, and then you wouldn't have to let it rest. Okay, so in a large mixing bowl, let me get all this junk out of the way. In a large mixing bowl, we are whisking together applesauce, and let's see, that's a half of a cup of applesauce. And I just keep applesauce in my refrigerator now that I'm trying to cook a little healthier because a lot of recipes call for applesauce instead of using a lot of oil, and it's always delicious. All right, and then a half of a cup of packed light brown sugar. Get on out of there. Need all of you, sugar. All right, and then a fourth of a cup of oil. I'm just using canola oil. A fourth of a cup of honey. Yum, yum. Okay, and then 2 large eggs. So what else? 2 teaspoons of orange zest. I do not have orange zest. I didn't have an orange, and I didn't go get one. A fourth of a cup of orange juice. I did. I had just regular orange juice that I drink every now and then in the mornings. So we're adding that. And then 2 teaspoons of vanilla extract. And we are going to whisk this together. Oh my goodness, that vanilla. I know I say this in all my recipes that use vanilla. When you make vanilla yourself, I wish you could smell this. Smells so good. Okay, so I've got to whisk this together. Let me go get my whisk. Okay, so just whisk it till it's good and combined. The egg yolks are broken up. No time at all. Okay. And then we're going to stir. Okay, so here's the little trick. We're going to stir in grated carrots, a cup of grated carrots and a cup of grated apple. Okay, my daughters have turned me on to this rotary grater. Never done carrots in it before. I have done apple. Worked beautifully. I'll link this grater. Not if you bought it for me, I'd get maybe 5 cents from it. So it's not for me, but for you, I'm telling you, the apple. When I grated the apple, it grated like that. Okay, so I didn't do this beforehand on purpose, just so you could see how this works. And y'all, most of y'all are probably like, yeah, we have those graters. We know how it works. I did not until which way does this go? Okay. So you just kind of push down, put the things in, push down, and start grating. I probably should have done it the other way. Look at that. Y'all, it's a miracle. It just absolutely is so easy. And if I had this on the counter, it would be sticking to the counter. Okay. So that was a little over a half of a cup. Just didn't filling this up. I have little mini carrots that come in the bag. That way I don't have to peel carrots. The less trouble, the better, because this already has a lot of ingredients. Okay. Telling you, look at that. Okay, so I'm adding those in. Now I've got to do my apples. I've already cut up 2 apples. I cut up a red one and a green one. And we're going to, I don't know how much, because it didn't specify red or green. And I did not peel these, and I tell you why. It's because when it grates it, it kind of just leaves the peel in. It just grates the apple part and leaves the peel on top of the grater. Look at that. That's the peel. I love this thing. And my daughters, now they grate their own cheese for recipes instead of getting the bagged cheese, because it's supposed to be so much better for you. So I'm going to start doing that myself. But I just got it, so. Okay, this is just absolutely, look, the little peel just, and then I don't have to peel it. I have found a product that I love. Okay, so that was not even 2 apples. It's about an apple and 3/4 that got a cup of grated apple. So incredibly easy. I'm in love with the product. Okay, and then a half of a cup of raisins, a half of a cup of shredded coconut, and a half of a cup of chopped pecans. Mine I always keep in the freezer because I use pecans all the time. And I have said this before, I always toast my pecans, and I do it in the microwave. So easy. I put it on a microwavable plate, just in a single little layer. And because they're frozen, I microwave them for a minute, and it kind of thaws it out, and then I stir it up with my hand, and I microwave it for a minute more. It's perfect. They're perfectly toasted. And I forgot to chop them before we started, so here I am just breaking them apart with my hands. Only take a second. You can put them in a chopper if you want to. That's one more thing I would have to clean after this. So no thank you. I'll just do this with my hands. All right, and then let's see. Coconut pecans. Okay, so we stir that. Get rid of the whisk. Just stir that, and then we're going to add a cup and a half of flour. For me, it's going to be gluten-free flour. Okay, because it has raisins, coconut, and carrots, Poppy's probably not going to eat this. But just in case, we get him to try just in case they're so delicious. And we say, you have to try these. Okay. So then it says, then stir in the remaining dry ingredients. And that is a cup and a half of flour, 2 teaspoons baking soda, 2 teaspoons ground cinnamon, and a half of a teaspoon of ground ginger. And I've got those mixed together in here. And then a fourth of a teaspoon of salt. And we stir that together. So you see that if you bake at all, you have a lot of these ingredients already. If you don't, like me, I didn't have carrots. I ran and got some carrots. I had some raisins for the grandkids that I keep that I don't ever eat myself. But so I had them up there. And that was it. I think that's all I had to go get. I had the apples. Anyway, okay, so I'm going to let the oven preheat to 350. Oh, and it does say to go ahead and scoop them out. It's supposed to make 16 muffins. So, I mean, that's great for a beach trip with your family. Oh, and I got this. My friend told me about this. It is a silicone muffin pan, but it's like metal on the edges. So it's real sturdy, but it's silicone. So they should just pop right out. I've sprayed it. And we'll see. If it does. And if it does, I will link that to the bottom as well. If it doesn't, I will not link it because I'll just tell you that it didn't work. These smell so good, and they look, it's like healthy. It got some healthy ingredients. You eat this and feel good. I mean, oh, okay, so I'm going to be listening to the ocean, eating me a little morning glory muffin. There's this place on the way to the beach from where we live. It's called Priester's Pecans. The best coffee, like snickerdoodle coffee, fiddlesticks coffee, all these different coffees. I have to, every time I go to the beach, I have to stop at Priester's. So since it did 16, I did do liners in this one because I can't pop these right out. Let's see if it's going to make 16. I think it might. Okay, so it does say we have to let this rest for 15 minutes so that the gluten-free flour gets hydrated. And again, if you didn't use gluten-free flour, if you use regular flour, go for it. Go ahead and pop them in as soon as the oven warms up. And then let's see, when it starts baking, they're going to bake for 25 minutes. Okay, so I'm going to clean this up and then I'm going to get started on the next one. Okay, I just had to show you this. So these are the silicone muffin, and I just went to see if they were going to pop right out. Look at that. I mean, just pops right out. I am so excited about this. I will link this to the bottom in the description box. So this next recipe is called Grab and Go Breakfast Cookies, and the picture caught my eye, and then it said healthy, easy, and freezer friendly. And I thought, okay, that's a good recipe right there. And it looks like, we could eat them for breakfast or take them out to the beach with us or by the pool or whatever, just for a snack, or, when you come in at night, if you haven't gone to the ice cream parlor and gotten you some ice cream, just a little healthy, sweet treat. So, looks good to me. So, let's get started with these. The first thing we're going to do is mix the wet ingredients, and that is a half of a cup of mashed banana. And I like that she explains why she uses each little ingredient. It says your natural sweetener plus a binder. Chef's tip: extra ripe bananas add caramel notes. No bananas, swap banana puree or applesauce. Okay, and then let's see. And then 3/4 of a cup of almond butter. It says creamy richness plus healthy fats, allergy friendly. You can use sunflower seed butter or peanut butter. And it also had a tip that if yours is stiff, I did have almond butter, so that's what I'm using. And mine was stiff, and it said to put it in the microwave for 10 seconds. Well, I did. And then it says it blends like a dream. Well, I did, and it was still stiff. So I put it in there for another 12 seconds, and yes, now it looks much better. Um, and then 1/3 of a cup of honey. Yum. She says golden sweetness that binds. If you're vegan, sub maple syrup. I couldn't be vegan just because I could not eat honey. Okay. And then a teaspoon of vanilla. My luscious homemade vanilla. Okay. So we stir this together, these wet ingredients. Oh, and by the way, that how much banana? Half of a cup was just one regular size banana for me. Once I mashed it up, it was exactly a half of a cup. I just took a fork, put it in a bowl, took a fork, and just mashed it till it was mashed. till it was just banana puree, basically. Okay. Then it says add dry ingredients. So we're going to add in 2.5 cups rolled oats, old-fashioned oats. It says you can use the other kind. Oh, but for the consistency that she likes, she uses the old-fashioned. Okay, let's read the benefits of this. Hearty base, gluten-free. Ensure certified gluten-free oats. Don't use instant oats. They turn mushy. Okay. 1 teaspoon cinnamon, warmth that whispers morning hug. Add a pinch of nutmeg for extra coziness. Well, all right, and then 1/2 of a teaspoon of baking powder. Lifts cookies slightly, not for fluffiness, just structure. 1/2 of a teaspoon of salt balances sweetness. Use flaky sea salt if you're fancy. I'm fancy. I have flaky sea salt. I didn't know I was fancy, but I am. Okay, and then 1/2 of a cup of raisins. Again, Poppy may protest. And then 1/2 of a, oh, do I add that? Yes, okay. And then 1/2 of a cup of dark chocolate chips. I had semi-sweet, so that's what we went with. And then 1/4 of a cup of pepitas, pumpkin seeds. So I was at Aldi and I got these just where all the rest of the nuts were. So this says crunch plus magnesium boost. Sub sunflower seeds or chopped almonds if you prefer. And because like I really think these are going to be good, I put in more than 1/4 cup. Oh, yum. Me and Hannah, when we would carve pumpkins when she was growing up, we would always pull out the pumpkin seeds. Have you ever done that? That's so hard. But anyway, we would pull out pumpkin seeds and bake our pumpkin seeds. So good. Okay, but that's really good. No work. All right, and then 2 tablespoons of flaxseed, omega-3 powerhouse. Grind them for better nutrient absorption. Mine were already ground. I got flaxseed meal. Okay, so then it says pro insight. This dough is a choose your adventure canvas. So you can kind of add or delete whatever you want to in these. Okay, so we put in the dry ingredients and it says fold gently. Critical tip, over mixing equals tough cookies. Stop when no dry spots remain. Dough will be thick like edible Play-Doh. Okay. She's right. This is some thick dough. Now, my oats are still, there's some that are still dry. So I'm still stirring a little bit. Okay, I think Okay. Okay, stopping. Critical. Okay, then it's shaping into cookies. She uses an ice cream scoop. Here's my scoop. Uh, Scoop a fourth of a cup of mounds onto the sheet. You're using a baking sheet. Flatten slightly to a half of an inch thick. Why flatten? They don't spread much, so this ensures even baking. Space them 1 inch apart. They're polite and they won't touch. Well, not like a bunch of kindergartners. I went on my grandson's. That may be too big. Yeah, let me get a smaller cookie scoop. Went on my grandson's pumpkin patch field trip, kindergarten, and they are not polite. They do touch. It's funny. Those kindergarten teachers, they they earn their money. Okay, so I got a little smaller cookie scoop. This is like the middle size one. When I ordered mine, it had 3 different sizes. So this is okay. So did that one where you couldn't see, I'm sure. So do that. All right, I'm just kind of flattening it out to look like a cookie. Okay, I'll keep doing this. I don't know how many it's going to make. I'll let you know. See what the rest of the recipe says. But I know you don't want to see me do this for 10 minutes. Took the Morning Glory Muffins out a little while ago. And man, I'm going to have to take a bite. Sorry, kids, grandkids. One less muffin we'll have this weekend. I'm going to go in for another bite. Every time I've seen this on Pinterest, I'm always like, man, that looks so good. I need to make those. I was right. This is really, really delicious. And to know it doesn't have any sugar, it's honey and wow. Yum. Okay. Woo. Okay, we're about to put the grab and go breakfast cookies in the oven. So it's 350 degrees. We're going to bake them for 12 to 15 minutes. And it says until edges turn golden and centers look set. Doneness test. They'll feel soft but spring back lightly when touched. Underbake slightly for ultra chewy cookies. That sounds pretty good. Okay, and then it says cool completely on the baking sheet. Patience pays. They firm up as they cool. Transferring warm cookies equals a crumble tragedy. So we will not transfer these warm. And then it says time saver. I thought this was very interesting. Freeze unbaked dough balls, so you can just make dough balls for a fresh baked mornings. Just add 2 minutes to the bake time. Okay, that's a great tip. Okay, so these are going in 12 to 15 minutes. Mine will probably be more on the 12-minute end of that, range of that, because I want the chewy cookies like she talked about. That sounds good. Okay, for the next thing. This is called gluten-free or not triple berry muffins. That truly is the name of this recipe, which I thought was so funny. So we are going to do ours gluten-free. Um, it's not dairy-free, so Hannah will not be able to eat these, but everybody else will. Then this is an Ina Garten recipe, and they say it is just really, really delicious. So I can't wait to try these. Um, there is a special little tip at the end of this that I'll have to give you. Um, and the triple berry in this recipe, she used strawberries, raspberries, and blueberries. I had blueberries and raspberries. I don't love cooked strawberries and things, so I wouldn't have used strawberries. Anyway, if I would have had my triple berry, I would have used blackberries with the other two, but I just have blueberries and raspberries, which will be good. Okay, so we're preheating the oven to 375 degrees. Line a standard muffin tin with paper liners. And then because it's an I know recipe, it's going to be a little fancy. You probably don't have to do this, but we're going to sift flour, baking powder, baking soda, salt, and cinnamon together in a large bowl. So let me tell you how much of each thing. Okay, half of a cup, half, 1.5 of cups of flour. If you want it to be gluten-free, use gluten-free flour. If you would rather use regular flour, use regular flour. Stay. Okay. And then 1.5 teaspoons baking powder and 1/4 of a teaspoon of baking soda. I've got that mixed together right here. 1/4 of a teaspoon of salt. We'll do my fancy salt because you know I'm fancy. A teaspoon of cinnamon. All right, and then we sift it. And I just have this little sifter right here, and I just kind of pound it against the side. And that's how quick and easy that is. And I'm sure if you don't do that step, it's fine. Stir with a whisk to make sure the ingredients are combined. Okay, I think they are since we sifted them together. Okay. In another bowl, combine the milk, eggs, melted butter, and vanilla. 3/4 of a cup of milk. 1 large or extra large egg, lightly beaten. 8 tablespoons unsalted butter, melted. So that's 1/2 of a stick. I just put it in the microwave for about 30 seconds in a bowl. A teaspoon of pure vanilla extract. Mine's as pure as it can get. Woo! Why do I get so excited about my vanilla? Okay. Okay. Make so let's see. Come on. Combine. So I guess I need to stir that up. Then it says to make a well in the middle of the dry mixture. Okay, so I'm just make a little well in the middle. Pour the wet mixture into the well and stir until just combined. Why we had to make the well? Okay, so we're stirring that until it's combined. There will be some lumps, but don't overmix the batter. That's a theme of the day, isn't it? Okay. There is still some dry flour, so that's why I'm still mixing. Okay, it's all mixed. Okay, add the mixed berries along with the sugar and gently combine. Stir gently to combine. Okay, so the little tip that I said was interesting is they said that by adding the sugar at the end like this, that it makes a crunchy outside of the muffin. I don't know. We'll see. Okay. So I'm supposed to add 3/4 of a cup of sugar and a cup of fresh berries. This is a 2-cup measurer. Miji likes her some berries. I'm adding more than a cup. I added almost 2 cups. Raspberries and blueberries for me. Okay. So stirring gently to combine. Don't think I followed that instruction too well because I started out pretty rough. Okay, spoon the batter into the muffin tin to fill the cups about 3/4 of the way to the top. Bake for about 25 minutes until a cake tester comes out clean and the tops are nicely browned. Best enjoyed while still warm from the oven. Ours will be best enjoyed by being warmed up in the microwave at the beach. Okay, so my breakfast cookies are still cooking, so I'll let those cook until they are done, but still chewy. And then I'll put these in muffin cups, bake at 375. How much did I just say? I cannot remember anything. About 25 minutes. And then when it's out, I'll show you all of them together. Okay, can't wait. They are all out of the oven, and my house smells like a bakery, and I am not complaining. But I'm about to do the taste test on all of them. I've already done the morning Glory Muffins. Glorious. Delicious. Okay, now I'm going to just do the next muffin. I'll do the triple berry, gluten-free or not muffins. Let me make sure I get a berry. Oh, it really is crunchy on the outside like it said it was going to be. Wait, that doesn't have a berry in it. Let me get a berry. Okay. And I was just thinking you could have put pecans in here, almonds, whatever you wanted, but didn't think of that in time. So, man, that really is a pretty outside. Like it is a crunchier outside than normal. Have to remember that next time. Add your sugar at the end. Okay, here we go. Poppy and I went to Disney last month. And the whole time we were there, they had the best gluten-free pastries, gluten-free food. And we were like, where do you get these recipes? What? That does not taste like a gluten-free muffin. That tastes like a regular berry muffin, which I love. I love that. I will be making that a lot. So good. It doesn't have much sugar in it. And that was okay. So now for the breakfast cookie. She wasn't lying when she said that they fall apart easily. Um, so I'm still letting the rest of them cool off, but this one did fall apart. So this is the one I'm going to taste. It looks like it's going to be really good. These are very visually appealing. I think it's going to be really good. Let's see. Oh, yeah. That's not just for breakfast. That's delicious. And just packed with all kinds of good, healthy things. That is so good. Oh, I can't wait. I'm so excited I made these. So we're going to enjoy our beach time, enjoy our goodies. And I hope you make these to try, especially if you're gluten-free or dairy-free, most of these. As always, thanks for joining us. I love these. These are all three excellent recipes. I would tell you if they weren't. So enjoy your baking.